The 1960s were dominated by big, lazy V8s and simple, reliable pushrod engines. But in Japan, a different kind of revolution was brewing. Honda, then primarily a motorcycle company, decided to enter the automotive world, and they did it in the most unconventional way possible. They created a power plant so unique, so technically advanced for its time, it completely redefined what a small engine could achieve. This is the story of the engine in the Honda S600. A tiny 606 cubic centimeter marvel that screamed to 9,500 revolutions per minute. This DOHC water-cooled unit featured 4 Keihin carburetors, one for each cylinder, a setup far more common on performance bikes than economy cars of the era. The real engineering genius, and what makes this engine so special, was its internal design. It featured a roller-bearing crankshaft, a very unconventional and expensive design choice for a production car, but standard in high-performance motorcycle engines, which reduced friction significantly and allowed for astonishing rotational speeds. The engine redlined at a screaming 9,500 RPM, a figure that would make most modern engines nervous, let alone something from the mid-60s. This tiny power plant churned out a remarkable 57 horsepower at 8,500 revolutions per minute. That may not sound like much, but consider this. It achieved nearly 100 horsepower per liter, a performance metric that remained a benchmark for decades and showcased Honda's maverick approach to engineering. This was a bold move by Soichiro Honda's team, challenging established automotive norms with pure, unadulterated innovation. It created a driving experience unlike anything else on the road, with an oral signature that was more Grand Prix bike than gentle roadster, a symphony of whirring gears and chains right behind the driver's head. This wasn't just a unique selling point, it was a statement of intent for the entire brand. Honda had another engineering trick up its sleeve, a feature that really hammers home the motorcycle connection: the rear suspension and drivetrain. Forget conventional drive shafts and differentials as you know them. The S600 used a radical, fully independent rear suspension with an oil bath, chain-driven setup for each wheel. The central differential was mounted rigidly to the chassis, with half shafts extending out to a sprocket on each side. A short, fully enclosed chain in a pivoting aluminum case then transferred power from that sprocket to a larger sprocket on the wheel hub itself. Why go through all that complexity? Efficiency, pure and simple. Chains are incredibly efficient at transferring power, and Honda's engineers wanted every one of those 57 horses to hit the tarmac. This unique design minimized parasitic power loss, a big win when you are working with such a small engine. The pivoting chain cases effectively acted as the trailing arms for the coil-sprung independent suspension, which was a very advanced feature for an economy-based sports car in the mid-60s. The result was fantastic, nimble handling praised by period road testers, often likened to the legendary Lotus Elan. The trade-offs, of course, were noise and maintenance. A chorus of whirring and clanking from the chains was a constant soundtrack to the high-revving engine. But for many enthusiasts, it was part of the car's raw, visceral charm. Later models, the S800, eventually moved to a more conventional and quieter live axle setup to appeal to a wider market. But the S600, with its ingenious chain drive, remains a brilliant example of Honda's think different engineering philosophy. This was a car that was truly unlike anything else, a testament to a company not afraid to use unconventional methods to achieve exceptional results. It may seem incredible, but this humble little roadster and its engine share a direct lineage with the highest echelon of motorsport. Honda had just entered the cutthroat world of Grand Prix racing in 1964, a bold move for a company known for motorcycles. Their first F1 car, the RA271, was a revelation, featuring a transversely mounted 1.5-liter V12 engine. Now, while that's a V12 and not an inline-4, the core engineering philosophy was identical. Both engines were high-revving, multi-cylinder units designed for maximum specific output, using roller bearings and complex DOHC setups to achieve incredible power figures for their size. The S600 engine was essentially a scaled-down, production-friendly application of the very same engineering principles being thrashed on F1 circuits by drivers like Richie Ginther. This connection isn't just a fun fact. It explains why the S600 engine was so over-engineered compared to its peers. Honda was applying cutting-edge racing technology to an everyday production car. The engineering team, led by Soichiro Honda himself, was obsessed with the idea that the road car should reflect the race car's technical prowess. This commitment to racing improves the breed wasn't just a marketing slogan, it was a core design principle. The result was an engine that felt like a racing motor on the street. The need to keep the revs high to access the power mirrored the demands of a small-capacity F1 car. Drivers had to learn to drive the gearbox, keeping the engine on the boil between 7,000 and 9,500 RPM to make rapid progress. The engine noise was a distinct, purposeful mechanical wail, a symphony of precision machinery that told you exactly what was happening under the tiny bonnet. This direct connection to the world's most sophisticated racing series gave the S600 an aura, a genuine motorsport pedigree that no amount of marketing could fabricate, making every drive feel a little bit special, a little bit like a race weekend. Given an engine that screamed to 9,500 revolutions per minute, you might reasonably expect it to have the longevity of a paper bag. Common sense says an engine spinning that fast will wear itself out quickly. But here is the thing. The Honda S600 engine defied all expectations regarding durability. And this is where the engineering truly shines. The design choices, particularly the roller-bearing crankshaft, were key to this incredible reliability. While expensive to manufacture, these bearings drastically reduce friction compared to traditional plain bearings used in most car engines. Less friction meant less heat buildup and less wear, even at stratospheric engine speeds. The engineering was meticulous. The engine block and head were cast from a robust aluminum alloy, keeping weight down while ensuring structural integrity. Everything was over-engineered for its intended purpose. Honda's motorcycle manufacturing expertise meant they were masters of precision engineering, building tight tolerances that ensured components could handle the immense mechanical stresses associated with high RPMs. These cars were not fragile garage queens. They were used as daily drivers, driven hard, and they held up. Stories abound of S600s clocking well over 100,000 miles without major engine rebuilds, a feat that was frankly unheard of for such a high-strung, small-capacity engine in the 1960s. The common perception was that high performance and reliability were mutually exclusive. But Honda proved that with meticulous design and quality manufacturing, you could have both. This engine wasn't just built for speed, it was built to last, a testament to Honda's burgeoning reputation for rock-solid mechanicals. It was a remarkable achievement, showcasing that a tiny engine could be both mighty and dependable, challenging the established wisdom of the automotive world and solidifying Honda's reputation for reliability. The marvel wasn't just the engine in isolation, it was how the whole package worked together. The S600 wasn't just a car with a great engine. It was a lightweight, balanced machine designed to exploit every single one of those 57 horsepower. The car weighed in at a featherlight 1,576 pounds, 715 kilograms, a crucial factor in its sprightly performance. When you have minimal weight to move, a little power goes a very long way. The power-to-weight ratio was fantastic for its class, making it feel quick and agile in a way that heavier competitors simply couldn't match. Honda positioned the engine longitudinally, sitting far back in the chassis behind the front axle line, creating a near-perfect 50-50 weight distribution. This was deliberate engineering, not accidental design. The low center of gravity combined with that balanced weight distribution in the innovative independent suspension meant the S600 handled like a dream. It was a go-kart for the road, offering immediate steering response and minimal body roll. The car felt alive in the driver's hands, communicating exactly what the chassis was doing. This intelligent packaging meant the car could effectively use its high revving power to maximum effect. The car's performance figures, a top speed near 90 miles per hour in a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of around 15 seconds, which was quick for a 600 C2C car then, tell only half the story. The real joy was in the corners, where the synergy of lightweight, perfect balance, and that eager engine came together. It proved that you don't need huge horsepower to have incredible fun behind the wheel. You just need smart, integrated engineering. It was a cohesive design where every component worked in harmony to create a truly special driving experience, proving that sometimes less weight and more engineering is the better approach. The Honda S600 didn't just perform, it sang. Its 606 cubic centimeters DOHC engine produced a sharp metallic whir as cam chains and gears spun toward a screaming 9,500 RPM redline. The sound wasn't refined. It was mechanical poetry, raw and alive, echoing its motorcycle heritage. Add in the chain-driven rear axle, humming and clattering through its oil bath housings, and you had a full orchestra of motion. Every gear change, every rising note kept the driver locked into the rhythm of the machine. In the S600, sound wasn't background noise. It was communication, passion, and precision fused into one unforgettable driving experience. The S600 might have been small in stature, but its impact was anything but. This little roadster was Honda's first true mass-produced automobile that they exported around the world, making it the thin end of the wedge for the Japanese giant's global ambitions. Before the S600, Honda was known only for motorcycles. This car was their declaration to the established automotive world that they were here to stay and that they intended to do things differently. It was the crucial first step that paved the way for iconic future models that would define the brand for decades. When it arrived in Europe and other markets, it was met with a mix of confusion and admiration. Established manufacturers simply couldn't believe the level of engineering sophistication packed into such an affordable, tiny vehicle. It forced competitors to take notice and proved that small displacement engines could be technically fascinating and reliable. The S600 effectively established a reputation for Honda as a technical innovator, a company willing to push boundaries and use clever engineering to solve problems. This reputation for building brilliant, high-revving engines started right here. The S600's success, albeit in relatively small numbers, had a ripple effect. It demonstrated to the global market that Honda could build a four-wheeled vehicle with the same precision and quality as their world-beating motorcycles. The lessons learned, the engine technology developed, and the manufacturing processes refined during the S600's production were fundamental building blocks for everything that followed, from the first Civic to the mighty NSX, and even their later F1 dominance. This tiny car was the seed from which a global automotive empire grew, a genuinely historic vehicle that marked the moment Honda transitioned from a motorcycle company to a true automotive player on the world stage. It's a fantastic example of a small car having a monumental, long-term impact on the entire industry. When discussing the S600 engine's might, you simply cannot ignore its technical achievement in specific power output. The term specific output refers to the power generated per unit of engine displacement, a critical measure of an engine's efficiency and engineering prowess. In the 1960s, a performance car might achieve 60 to 70 horsepower per liter. Honda's tiny 606 cubic centimeter engine managed to produce an astonishing 57 horsepower, which translates to a figure of roughly 94 horsepower per liter. This wasn't just good, it was phenomenal, a benchmark figure that few cars could match at the time, regardless of price or size. It truly showcased how mighty this tiny power plant was. To put that in perspective, this specific output was on par with some of the most exotic, high-performance machinery of the day, including certain Ferraris and racing engines. Honda achieved this through sheer engineering brilliance. The DOHC head design for optimal airflow, 4 individual carburetors for precise fuel metering, and the low-friction roller-bearing crankshaft allowing those incredible revs. This wasn't achieved with turbochargers or complex electronics. It was pure, naturally aspirated mechanical ingenuity. This metric became a calling card for Honda, establishing a trend that would define their engines for decades. The V-Tech engines of the 1990s, renowned for their specific output, traced their philosophical roots right back to the S600 engine. It demonstrated that cubic capacity was less important than how you engineered the space you had available. The S600 engine wasn't just an anomaly. It was a proof of concept for an entire brand's philosophy. It proved to the world that Honda knew how to squeeze every last ounce of performance out of a small package, making it an engineering icon and a true testament to the title, tiny but mighty. What was it actually like behind the wheel of an S600? The experience was raw, involving, and completely unique. Driving an S600 wasn't a passive activity. It demanded your attention and rewarded your skill. The engine required a specific approach. You couldn't short-shift it like a traditional pushrod engine. The driver had to be constantly engaged with the sweet, slick-shifting, 4-speed or later 5-speed gearbox, keeping the revs high, right in that power band between 6,000 and 9,500 revolutions per minute. This created a genuine connection between the driver, the machine, and the road. The steering was unassisted, direct, and provided an abundance of feedback, letting you feel every nuance of the road surface. The car was nimble and reactive, changing direction with an eagerness that felt almost telepathic. Because the car was so light and well-balanced, you could confidently carry impressive speed through corners, the independent suspension keeping things tidy. This wasn't about straight-line speed, it was about momentum and cornering prowess. The entire experience was a mechanical masterclass. You were treated to that unique soundtrack of whirring gears and chains, a constant mechanical conversation about what the car was doing. It felt like a miniature race car for the street, an unfiltered, pure driving experience that has sadly become rare in modern automobiles. It wasn't about comfort or refinement. It was about the thrill of driving. The S600 demanded you drive it properly, and in return, it delivered an unparalleled sense of engagement and fun. This engine, this car, created an indelible experience that made owners fall in love with the engineering and the sheer joy of a perfectly balanced, lightweight machine doing its absolute best. The S600's engine may have disappeared from production decades ago, but its legacy is alive and well, echoing through the halls of Honda's history and into their modern performance cars. This tiny but mighty power plant established the core tenets of Honda engineering: high specific output, technical innovation, reliability, and an unwavering commitment to the DOHC valve train. Every high-performance Honda engine that followed, from the B16 in the first VTEC Civics to the F20C in the S2000, which famously produced 120 horsepower per liter, and even today's turbocharged Type R engines, carries the DNA of that pioneering 606 cubic centimeter unit. The S600 was the proof of concept that a small, mass-produced engine could be a technological marvel, setting a standard for others to follow. It forged Honda's identity as a builder of brilliant engines that love to rev, a reputation they still hold dear. Furthermore, the car itself became a cult classic, a revered piece of automotive history that collectors cherish not for its monetary value, but for its engineering brilliance and unique driving experience. It challenged conventional wisdom and proved that a tiny engine could deliver mighty performance and, more importantly, a tremendous amount of fun. The story of this S600 is more than just car history. It's a narrative about a company that dared to be different, that applied racing technology to the road, and changed the perception of what a small car could be. It stands as a powerful reminder that with clever design and a commitment to innovation, you don't need brute force to make an impact. The S600 engine remains a high watermark in automotive engineering, a genuine icon that solidified Honda's place in the history books and continues to inspire engine builders today. What do you think of this high-revving masterpiece? Did Honda prove that small engines can be mighty? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this look into one of history's most unique power plants, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible automotive stories. Thanks for watching.